Yeah, let's go through, pull up and let's get on the screen the People's War 2020. Here's why it's so important. People's War is a very symbolic thing for the Chinese Communist Party. President Xi just announced, I think a couple of months ago, that there's a People's War, a new People's War going on. This is where he's trying to galvanize all of the interests of the Chinese Communist Party and their allies throughout the world of an attack, basically economic, technological, on the United States of America as a leader of the Alliance of Liberty. Remember, Raheem and Jack, on the Saturday, we had a very special commemoration of the Independence Day of India. Why? Because India is our central ally with Japan in this great conflict with the Chinese Communist Party, and it was amazing to hear everything that was going on then. That's when we teased the People's War 2020. What Spalding's point is that you can get engaged in every aspect of American life, from healthcare to technology to the economy to national security. The Chinese Communist Party is either infiltrated or has access to, and there's a way you can turn that around. The first thing you have to do is become knowledgeable about this. The first thing you have to do is, actually understand what the details are. That's why you got Spalding's book, Stealth War, but now he's got a website up that goes through each one of those topics. And Raheem and Jack, why don't you give, before we get General Spalding back on, just give the building blocks of what the site says and how people can get access to it.
I think we have the General back, by the way, Steve, if you want to make the most in this segment.
Yeah, General, can you walk us through what the sections of the site are and why they're important for people to go through there and to get access to it, to understand it?
So first of all, these are policies for the United States that helps rebuild the country, and it's about decoupling from China. It's about rebuilding infrastructure and manufacturing, and it's really about going out in the world and ensuring that our principles and values are the ones that are carrying weight. Right now, what the Chinese are doing is taking our innovation, technology, talent, and capital, and they're wrapping it in their principles and values and exporting it to the world. And it's really about meeting them in the battlefield of ideas and the battlefield of the global economy, where we are losing. We are getting, essentially beaten down by the Chinese Communist Party. And what I want to do is help Americans understand the policies that we need and help elect candidates that will support what the president is trying to do in this country.
So walk through some of those verticals, walk through some of those policies. Let's get people up to speed on what you think are the most important.
So first of all, I think the two major policies in the protect category, so it's protect, rebuild, inspire. In protect, we need to make the tariffs on China permanent. And I think the other one that we need to do is stop exchanging U.S. dollars for Hong Kong dollars. China has two currencies. No country is allowed to have two currencies. And they use the Hong Kong dollar to do billions of dollars of IPOs that our retirement dollars are going into. So it's really about cutting off the Hong Kong dollar and making tariffs permanent in China. That'll force the decoupling. It'll force American corporations out. And then rebuild. What we need to do is take, a lot of the money that we're spending in DOD and rebuild our manufacturing, science and technology, infrastructure, and put a lot of our kids in through STEM education. When I was at the Pentagon or at the White House, we looked at what we could do with 1 year in Afghanistan. We could send 200,000 American kids through STEM degree programs for a 4-year program every year that we're in Afghanistan. In 5 years, we train a million new scientists and engineers. And then finally, in Inspire, it's really about taking USAID, Export-Import Bank, the Trade Development Agency, the Developmental Finance Corporation, and all bringing them under one director for strategic economic development. And what we have today is no strategy for international economic development, and that's we can't compete with what the Chinese are doing, which are essentially taking our innovation, technology, talent, and capital, building out the Belt and Road Initiative, and they're really using that as geopolitical leverage in international institutions. So it's protect, decouple from China, stop, make tariffs permanent, stop exchanging for the Hong Kong dollar, rebuild our infrastructure, manufacturing, and science and technology, and inspire. It's really about using our money abroad strategically and helping economic development in a way that encourages U.S. businesses to get involved.
You say you're bipartisan. You're not tied to any party, and these are policies that put forward to confront and eventually not just decouple, but take down the Chinese Communist Party.